All right, so today we're looking at two evidences for the blackness of Adam. The first one is forensic, and the second one is evidence from the scientific community. So we're going to basically see two videos, one for each piece of evidence, and that's going to be it. So forensic evidence is basically a forensic officer and his team that constructed a sculpture that they believe looks like Adam. And so when they completed the sculpture was black. He was also in partnership with National Geographic, which is a non-Christian group, but they still came to that conclusion. So we'll show you that video. And then evidence from the scientific community, we're just going to take one video from Ken Ham, who is the founder of Answers in Genesis, one of the world-class best Christian scientific communities to date. And so in his video, he's going to also admit that Adam was black, but he's going to do it in a reluctant way from my point of view, but he still will admit that Adam was black. All right, so here comes the first video for forensic evidence for the blackness of Adam.
Now Frank Bender can show us what he might have looked like. His goal is not just to sculpt Adam, but to reveal his personality.
I try to get into just find out your future. Intuition is the divider between art and science. It's the part that goes together and gives it that life form. I picture very much alive with the basic feelings that we have today. Confidence, buoyancy, security, and another.
Finally, Wells comes face to face with the man he's been searching for. A new portrait of the common ancestor of every man today. Adam. Without skull, you can't know for sure what it looked like. But a combination of genetic evidence, Bender's forensic skills, and cutting-edge computer software suggests it looks something like this. Thousands of years after the Bible, and hundreds of years after Michelangelo, we have a whole new face for Adam.
Those expressions are the first words look like. When we say 10 times something, maybe taking the world. You begin to get perhaps an insight into what these guys went on and why these guys are ancestor.
Okay, so he might not look like what I think he looks like, or what what we want him to look like per se, but at least they understand that he was black and that he was their daddy. So that was the important part of that piece of evidence. There's a whole bunch of other forensic pieces of evidence for the blackness of Adam. This is just a taste because a lot of black Christians don't know that there was any evidence. So these are just small pieces of evidence. All right, so the next video is from the Christian scientist Ken Ham. He's going to admit on the basis of pure science that Adam was black, and he's going to do it a little bit reluctantly, but he's going to still do it.
Adam and Eve were probably middle brown. God gave them maximum genetic diversity so that in one generation you could get all the different shades from really dark to really light. Now, people say, well, that's impossible. Well, no, it's not. There are twins in the world today, many examples of twins that are dark and light. People would call them black and white twins. They're not black and white. They're dark brown and light brown. Many Hispanic families, for instance, in America, in California, Florida, you often see Hispanic families where they're more middle brownish for the parents, and you find children that are darker than the parents and children lighter than the parents. It's just that genetic variation because of the genes that they have.
Okay, so he said it that they're brown, and obviously that is the correct color, but the hypocrisy is in the fact that whites during slavery would look at a brown person and say that they were black, but now that it no longer benefits them, they look at a black man and say that they're brown. All right, so that's just what I wanted to point out. That was the reluctant part of it, but at least he was still able to get himself to admit that they were brown, which means black, and that Adam was his black daddy. All right, so that's it for today. 2 quick pieces of evidence for the blackness of Adam.
Adam and Eve
Hey, yo, Ray.